Hey guys, it's Kat and welcome to my new beauty makeup video where I sit here and chat with you guys, just ramble about what's been going on while doing my makeup. I'm gonna put the products right here while I'm doing it, and today I'm gonna talk about traveling. I went traveling cross country here in the US with my boyfriend from North Carolina to California. That's all the way across the entire United States from East Coast to West Coast, and we did it in like 5 days. It was a little longer because we spent some time in Georgia, but the reason being why we did that is because Corey moved in with me. A lot of you guys have been asking, and yes, it's true. And when you do cross-country traveling, a lot of people get bloated and they gain a lot of weight because you get so sick of fast food. And let me tell you, I've never been more sick of French fries and hamburgers and sandwiches than when I was on this trip in Subway. No hate on Subway, but there was one day on New Year's Eve where that was the only thing that was open. We've had that all day and I'm so sick of Subway because I could only eat their salads because I'm gluten tolerant, allergic to rice, wheat, barley, all of it. So I could only eat their soggy salads. I'm so sick of Subway soggy salads. I have this in my hair, by the way, to keep my bangs out of the way. And today we're gonna go for like a jade tone makeup look. I was inspired by this picture that I found on Instagram. I'll put the link to the Instagram makeup artist who this picture is of and their beautiful work. So we're gonna try to replicate something like that today because I did not know what makeup to do. I just know I wanted to play with makeup because I came back to so many packages of makeup and I just want to play and have fun and talk with you guys. So like I said, we did cross country. We spent the first 2 days in Georgia because Corey has family out there and I got to meet all of his grandparents. He's lucky enough that he has 4 sets of grandparents, like even great grandparents. And it was so cool because they had great Southern home cooking and they were so sweet, and they had sweet tea, which we don't have sweet tea here on the West Coast. The East Coast has sweet tea where it's like almost as sweet as Kool-Aid, and our tea comes unsweetened. You have to add your own sweetener to it, which is odd. And they also had Waffle House that I tried for the first time. It's like the best diner breakfast food ever. It's the best hash browns ever that I've ever had in my life. Like I said, it was a lot of fast food and bad foods for us. I just wanted to exercise and eat homemade, home-cooked food and vegetables when I got back. But Waffle House was amazing. Georgia's Waffle House specifically was the best. I've been to a lot of them across country now. And we had Whataburger on the way because we don't have that here on the West Coast either. That was great. What I loved about Georgia too is it's not most people, maybe only Corey's family, but they like built their own houses from their own 2 hands. It was just so interesting to listen to their background and see and learn how to cook different foods. And so once I got back, I just wanted to cook foods, and I've been cooking foods and posting it all over social media like a desperate housewife. But it's been so fun. I thought the whole trip, the whole time when we were moving all Corey's stuff from North Carolina to here, because we've been on like long distance forever. Before I even mentioned it to you guys that we were together, we were in a long distance, and we were honestly so stressed out before the move to come here, but it was such a fun trip and it was a lot less stressful and more fun for us than anything, and it taught us a lot about each other. It was just so fun planning where we're gonna stay. I made sure that we stayed at different hotels that had good ratings, but girl, there were some nightmares on the way. We stayed in this great hotel in Marshall, Texas, and it was right next to an awesome like Ichiban Japanese steakhouse. If you see or go to Texas, they have a lot of steakhouses. And a lot of American people, because my family's traditional Japanese, girl, they love them steakhouses. It's like orange chicken for Chinese food, because in China, they don't like eat orange chicken every day. That's what Japanese steakhouses are like for Americans, I feel like, because we don't eat like that all the time. And when they eat sushi, it's like California rolls and deep fried sushis, but we eat like fresh sashimi. Long story short, it was a lot of fun. It was a great steakhouse. I still enjoy a steakhouse or two, but it's basically going out and paying for something that's a little pricey that my grandmother makes. It was just so interesting staying in different hotels. We stayed in this one hotel in Texas too, that it was like a Swiss theme, Alps themed like hotel, and that was the night on New Year's Eve where we spent the night there, and Texas is so big, it takes like 22 to 24 hours, I think, straight driving to get through it. And unfortunately, I didn't get to see Bunny because we had to go around 7 hours out of our way to the route of the highway that went all the way across state. And we just didn't have time because I had to get back for a meeting and other important work things, so I couldn't be away from you guys too long. I think the longest time I was away from you guys recently was a week between videos, and I felt so terrible, and a lot of you guys said you miss me because I try to make 2 videos a week, but I can't keep that promise even though that's like my New Year's resolution. We stopped at this one gas station in Texas, and there's this creepy guy who's trying to follow me, but then he saw Corey next to me, and so he stopped following me, and Corey was really freaked out but didn't want to tell me because I think there was a lot of people around and he didn't want to freak me out, but then he stopped following me and it was really scary. Another scary moment, scary moments will happen. You can't avoid them when you're doing long distance trip, is we went to this one Mexican restaurant because it's the only one open in town. We were in a very small town. There's like bars all across the windows, and there's this drunk crazy person inside of the restaurant, and it was kind of scary, and we were so hungry we just ate our food and left. Well, of course we paid for our food, but that was a little scary. A lot worse stuff could have happened to us though. And oh my gosh, talking about our trip here, there's this one hotel that we stayed in, and all the hotels, the closer we got to California, they were getting more and more expensive. The ones in Georgia and like Texas and everything, they were a lot cheaper than the ones in Arizona and California. We didn't stay in California, we just drove home. But I'm even gonna tell you the name of it. It was the Comfort Inn in Casa Grande, Arizona. And the reason why I'm telling you the name of it is because I never wanted any of you guys to go here. We get to our hotel room and we're so tired, we finally find a place to eat. And I was going to bed and I asked Corey, like, what is this? On like, not even like in your crotch region where you sleep on the bed sheets, but like at the foot, like the front part of it, the lining where this is the end of the sheet near your neck, there was blood spots. Like the biggest one was like the size of a dime. It was terrifying because it would look like splatters, and I was like freaking out a little bit. And of course we had to like call management, and I hate being that person to call management, but that's like a big health hazard if there's blood on your actual sheets. And it's so crazy because like I said, this was the highest rated hotel on the whole trip. Let me get a baby wipe to get the foundation off my eyebrows because I feel like the color of my eyebrow pencil will show up better. But I had to call management, and they made us make our own bed in front of us with the new sheets, which was weird, while the manager put the sheets of the bloody ones into the bag in front of us, and you could tell he was embarrassed, and I don't think he was thinking through everything, and he was trying to like say how the blood wasn't red, it was more brown, like they tried to wash it out before. But why would you put blood-stained sheets on someone's bed? Even if that means if you tried to wash it out, you've seen it, right? And I just don't understand. And it was so scary because right when we were gonna leave, we didn't even notice while we were getting out of the hotel, Corey was kind of upset, but not like making a scene. When we were leaving the hotel room the next morning to finish our trip, we didn't even see this when we first got the room, but there was like blood splatters behind the door on the actual wall, and it was like a line of splatter. And I'm like someone popped a giant zit or cyst near that door, and it was terrifying. And the only thing that they would do for us, they said, would give us a discount. And I was like, what? And I can't believe that was happening to me. It's like one of those things, me and Corey have been listening to Blue Spooky. I think I talked about my monthly favorites before. It's like one of those YouTube channels that talks about real life scary stories, and I felt like I was in one of those scary stories, even though, I mean, it's just blood splatters. But you don't know what happened to the person that blood came from before us, and it was so scary and creepy. And yeah, there was like so much also on the trip, like roadkill. I've never seen so much roadkill in my life of poor baby animals that got hit by cars. And we saw beautiful scenery of like live cactuses and drove through mountains, and one day it was raining but it was not too crazy, and it was kind of beautiful to see the rain come and go. And oh yeah, we went through New Mexico, and that's beautiful because there's so many things that's tempting. What I mean is there's like so many trading posts with turquoise and turquoise jewelry and beautiful moccasins and like stuff that sounds great and you want to have them and own them and wear them, but like they're just things that you like to look at, and in real life when you're home you probably wouldn't wear heavy duty, really feet sweaty, hot sweaty moccasins in California weather, you know what I mean? So yeah, Corey lives with me now, and it was such a cool trip, and like just hearing the stories of his grandparents, and they're so sweet and nice, and like about their lives and they're traveling. Like one of his grandmas went to like these cool parts of Hawaii and got to see like famous volcanoes and Pearl Harbor, and it's just so interesting. And like she rescues animals, and she's talking about, it was so cool. Okay, now that the eyebrows are done, we need to put some blush and highlighter on. You guys probably see this a lot in my videos. I love this blush palette. This is my favorite blush color. I don't remember what it was because I didn't leave the name on it, sadly. But it's my favorite, and it's like the most natural apricot-like blush color. I put a little bit on my nose all the time. Don't know why I do that. Oh my gosh, another scary thing that happened to my trip that I did to myself, but I didn't realize it. And I wish like I paid more attention and read the back of labels, because I had to fly there but not get a returning flight to see Corey to help him move. And airport food's the worst thing for me. I can't eat anything at airports unless it's a salad or a bag of chips. That's it, or some fruit if you're lucky enough to find fresh fruit at the airport that's not rotted. So I really have to look at every single label now, because even like a Mentos candy has wheat in it, and I got so sick one time. And this trip, I just got a bag of cashews. Cashews, I think it had cranberries in it. I'm like, oh cool, I could eat this. I could totally do this. It's just nuts. I'm not allergic to nuts. It's like one of the few things I'm not allergic to. So I get the bag of cashews and I'm eating it, and there's 2 plane flights to get to Corey's. That trip from California to North Carolina, there's not that many like straightaway that goes straight to each one. You have to have a layover and take 2 planes. And the first plane, while I was eating that, I felt a little queasy, kind of like I was on a roller coaster, and I don't know what was wrong. I thought I just had a bad stomach ache. I didn't think nothing of it. I'll be using this color. This is in my Crown brush palette. Just like a dark emerald green that's matte. Yeah, I didn't think anything of it, and I was in the plane, like I said, and I felt sick. And then the second flight, I felt really sick. I felt like I was on a roller coaster. Like, I'm a wuss when it comes to roller coasters. I can't go on anything at Six Flags except Tatsu. Everything else makes me hurl. Literally, I puke and vomit because like I'm so sensitive to like motion roller coaster rides like that. I don't know why. And I felt terrible. And then when Corey picked me up in his car, I felt even just as worse. And I was getting really scared, like, what the heck, did I eat wheat? And I looked at the back of the bag, and it did have wheat in it, because it was like a mix of not just nuts but other things. And I was so upset because I didn't want my trip to start out with me being sick. And not only was I sick, but the sword isn't in here. I'm just getting like a matte taupey brown and like a yellow tone color, and I'm gonna put that in my crease. I was so sick, I'm like, oh my gosh, I think I'm gonna puke. I don't wanna puke in front of my boyfriend, but this is going to happen right here, right now. I dumped everything out of my like bag that had like gifts I bought for people, because I spent Christmas with him and his family. I took all the gifts out of that bag, and I'm like, this is my bag. Oh my gosh, I got brown on my nose. This is the bag I'm gonna puke in. That might happen, so let me be prepared. So I ended up puking 5 times in Corey's car, in the bag, not on his actual car. And it was terrible. I felt ridiculously bad. But I'm so glad that I got it out. I puked 5 times, not just once. I'm sorry if you're afraid of puke stories, but we're going through it. So yeah, I puked. That's when you know you're close with your guy, because it didn't even faze him. He was like rubbing my back, and he was really sweet about it, and I felt so terrible. Like, hey, thanks for bringing me to your house and let me puke all over your things. Patting on some greens and yellows. I feel like I'm doing a camo eyeshadow. Just trying to make it really pigmented like a forest on my eye. So yeah, that happened. I made a list of everything in North Carolina I wanted to eat before, like, we do both have family there, and we're gonna go back, but like, I wish I could eat Bojangles. I couldn't, but there's this amazing restaurants there of like Mexican food, and there's this awesome place called Andy's Steak and Pancake House, which I love. And we ate there. and they have good pork and seafood in North Carolina. I'm just glad I puked in front of Corey and not his whole family. It was just so weird and nice at the same time spending Christmas away. I've never spent Christmas away from my actual family, and I've lived in California my entire life. So I felt like I just went on a lifetime adventure. I kind of feel like Poison Ivy a little bit with the flowers and this green eyeshadow. So the inner like shadow of gold, I'm going to use Pat McGrath's gold pigment, which is really pigmented, and I'm excited because I don't think I've used it before. And another tip I could give you if you're doing cross country, if you are in Georgia, get some peaches and pecans. They had this place called Peachtree Lane, and they had the best peach ice cream I've ever eaten, and they had peach pie, peach cobbler, peach everything. You know how like on, have you seen Forrest Gump's like, we got shrimp gumbo, shrimp stir fry, shrimp pasta? Yeah, that's like Georgia but with peaches. It's so cool in Georgia too, because like a lot of the farmhouses have like actual lakes. Some of them built themselves on their actual own property, and they fish there, and I love fishing. Which makeup guru on YouTube talks about how much she loves fishing while putting green eyeshadow on. Ooh, that gold with that green. It was such a fun trip. I would also give a tip if you're doing cross country is like make reservations where you're gonna stay like a week before. Cause I was so nervous because we were gonna be traveling on New Year's Eve, and that could be a little bit dangerous because there's drunk drivers and people that just don't make good decisions. So we made sure that we were at our place before it got dark. Make sure you get food too before it gets dark, because you don't know about them drunk drivers. You don't want none of that business in your life of getting injured by a drunk driver. Now for some liner. I don't think I'm gonna do that squiggle line here because I feel like I can mess that up real quick. But yeah, it was really crazy that like the nicest towns had like the craziest, creepiest hotels, and the smallest towns had the nicest hotels we were at. Maybe it was just our weird luck, but yeah, it was so cool. And another tip if you're traveling with a friend, what me and Corey did was we had this app, not sponsored, but I forgot, it was word something. There was like this Albert Einstein thing as the logo for the app, and it was this game of like, it was kind of like cross between Boggle and Scrabble and like a word cross puzzle game, and you find different things and it really challenges you, like when we're waiting for our food and before we go to bed. It's just something that we could like connect with, and we still do it even after the trip before we go to bed, and it's just like really nice time to spend together and not just think about the road and worry about all this and that, and you could actually relax together and do something fun. The little setting spray and the eyeshadow, it's like my new favorite thing to do. I don't know why, and I'm gonna put it like almost like where I would put my liner, even though I'm gonna put liner on it. Honestly, me and Corey were both so lucky that nothing happened to us during this trip because, like I said, I was listening to the creepy, not podcast, YouTube channel of stories that's happened to people, and oh my gosh. There's people at rest stops. Oh my gosh. Make sure you find rest stops on the way there in case you can't find a bathroom in small towns. They don't always have like a local nice gas station to go pee in. So look up rest stops. Another tip for when you are traveling cross country, make sure you hit up Cracker Barrel because they got the best, cheapest breakfast too, other than Waffle House, because we don't have Waffle House or Cracker Barrel here in California, and I miss Waffle House and Cracker Barrel. Get their fried apples at Cracker Barrel that you can get as a side because it's awesome. And you're gonna gain weight when you're traveling cross country, definitely. Make sure you can find fruit where you can. Like anytime I found fruit on this trip, I felt like I was in heaven. So I was so tired of eating chips and french fries. It's hard to find healthy food when you're traveling that isn't just Subway. I'm so tired of Subway. I never want to eat at Subway again. And I thought I'd be hitting up a lot of Starbucks because they're everywhere, but I wasn't, which is weird. I also found a really cool new holiday drink while I was on my trip called the Holiday Spiced, I think it was called Flat White. The Flat White drink that's just espresso and milk. They have a holiday spiced one that was good. Now before I put some false lashes on, I'm gonna try out some lipstick. I might try this new one by ColourPop. Not new for most people. This is I have the lip pencil to it too. This is Wet, it's called, just Wet, and it's like this bronze color. Let's try the actual lipstick. Okay, now let's get ready for some eyelashes. Oh my gosh, and I did not wear makeup at all when I was traveling. I missed it so much. I would only do like some eyebrows sometimes, maybe a tinted chapstick, but other than that, like nothing. Because us Asian girls, like, it's really hard for us to not go without eyebrows because our eyebrow hairs look like the Ken doll drawn on eyebrow hairs. I mean, I'm not being any type of stereotype, but it's kind of true. I feel like I have to do this weird look like Dracula to get all the spaces with eyeliner filled in. Like, I'm really shocked or scared or surprised. Okay, so mascara on the wand, on the lashes. Nope, didn't get that top lash on this eye. Forgotten child. Lashes are like that middle child that they forget about. Sorry, middle children. Now, let's hold our breaths and concentrate. Because I get so nervous about lashes. It was so funny too, whenever we went to a different state like Georgia, we hung out with so many Georgians and like older people who had amazing accents. Me and Corey started having a little bit tinge of a twang accent to our voices. I don't know why that happened. I mean, I don't like labeling voices of people. They just sound like who they are. Wait for that to dry. As I'm waiting for that to dry, I will fix my hair. I whip my hair back and forth. I whip my... So whatever happened to Willow Smith's music after whip my hair back and forth was a grand hit. So that is the end of our chat about my cross-country trip and our beauty and makeup look today. I love the emerald green and the gold, and it reminds me of Slytherin from Harry Potter. That gold eye though reminds me of a peacock. Thank you to the makeup artist that inspired me to do this. You should check out her Instagram page. And thanks for so much for hanging out with me today. Leave me a comment down below on what was one of your most memorable trips that you've ever had, even if you didn't go far or if you've been living in the same city your whole life, even like outing with your friends. I love you guys. See you soon. Bye.